Brand new evidence shows that the US government is in fact hiding UFO information, and this comes from none other than Ross Coulthart on a brand new News Nation episode titled Evidence Shows US is Hiding Knowledge of Alien Life. Ross Coulthart, Morning in America. And we're going to take a look at this clip because it is just, well, it's interesting to say the very, very least. Let's dive straight into this, shall we? Sometime today would be nice.
All right, millions around the globe and maybe even beyond are celebrating World UFO Day. Okay, July 2nd is the anniversary of the 1947 crash of an unidentified flying object in Roswell, New Mexico, which the Army later said was a scientific balloon.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a scientific balloon, doesn't it? Look at it. It's just clearly a balloon. Like, I've never seen anything more shaped like a balloon, probably, like, in my entire life.
75 years later, the government still says there's no evidence of non-human life, but that narrative has started to shift since News Nation's bombshell interview with UFO whistleblower David Grush.
Let's not forget, but just before this bombshell interview dropped, the government tried to have David Grush arrested and put in prison before he could blow the whistle formally. Yeah, that genuinely did happen, people.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
This jaw-dropping News Nation exclusive leading to congressional hearings and a federal UFO program. A member of the intelligence community and a pioneer in getting to the truth is News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart. Sir, I love when you are on the show because each time it kind of gives me chills because part of me wants to know, the other part of me is like, I don't want to know, Ross. As someone who has spent decades investigating UAPs, how has the perception of UFOs changed over the last year, specifically after David Grush's claims went public?
Good morning, Nick. Well, I can tell you there's been a real drift in the public's skepticism about the government's claims on UFOs. A vast majority, nearly 66% of Americans think the US government is concealing information about UFOs, and that's from a very recent poll. And I think
66% is a hefty amount of a large country. You know, what is the population over in America? I don't even know. I'm actually going to Google it. US population. 333.3 million. That was in 2022. Let's talk about 2024. Right. According to Google, it is 341,824,492. Right? So, what is 66% of this number? 66% of is that 2,200,000 is that, what number is this? That's a big old number. 225,604,164. So let's say 65. So 200 and let's say 26 million people from 334 million well and truly believe that the US government is lying to them about UFOs. Like, what? That's a huge number of people.
There's good reason for that skepticism. I think even senators, senior people in the Defense Department and intelligence community are now saying quite openly that they believe there's a lot more to be revealed by the US Department of Defense, the intelligence community, and indeed by the White House about what the government really knows. And I don't think the public's buying it anymore. I think the public is basically ready for answers. And frankly, a lot of people are telling me they want this to be an election issue.
They clearly want it to be top of mind because you just mentioned that poll showing that 65% of Americans believe intelligent life exists beyond Earth. Why are more people taking the conversation more seriously, Ross? Is it because we're talking about it more, or is it because they have less faith in maybe political leaders always telling them the truth?
I think to be honest with you, I think Americans have every reason to be skeptical about their government. They've been lied to in the past as a pretext for going to war. And I do think that the evidence is increasingly suggesting that the American government is, and incredible as this may sound, it is concealing its knowledge of a non-human intelligence. And as you know, I'm hearing this not just from David Grush, but from multiple sources who are allegedly working within what's called the Legacy Program, which...
Now, we heard yesterday, I made a video about it yesterday, where a man who goes by the name of Michael Herrera, who blew the whistle about a craft that he witnessed himself that was man-made but reverse engineered from crash down UFOs. He said that he's been speaking to an insider, or the insider, who is part of one of these legacy programs and has had eyes on for these things. And what you need to check out that video from yesterday. It is mind-boggling.
Which is a secret program being operated by the US government involving the retrieval of non-human technology. And I have to say, yes, this particular day that we're celebrating, World UFO Day, it honours the memory of a day, July the 2nd, 1947, when the Roswell crash happened. But I think the interesting thing is there's been a lot more crashes since, and those recoveries, those retrievals of craft continue to this day. And it's incredible as that may sound, there are now very authoritative people in the defence and intelligence community saying that the government needs to come straight about this, that essentially it's not being honest with the American public. And I think if you look at the legislation that's been drafted by the Congress demanding that the various arms of government disclose what they know about non-human intelligence technology, which is an incredible thing to be written in legislation. If Congress is prepared to write that, it means it knows something. And
yes, this is what everyone's been saying. They must have something if they are willing to do this. Do you know what I mean? Like, they wouldn't do this without just cause. And if they didn't have just cause, then they'd be like, no, this is a waste of our time. We have much better things to do whilst running our country. Instead, they're like, that needs to be a topic, that needs to be a legislation, that needs to be written up. I'm going to spend some time on that. There is more to this story than meets the eye.
it does. I can assure you it does.
It's important also to mention, though, even though you spoke with David Grush on the record, you had other sources telling you this information as well. So we will continue to follow this, Ross, because you know we love this stuff. Ross Coulthart, thank you so much, sir.
Good to talk to you, Nick.
Good to talk to you. And you can watch Reality Check with Ross Coulthart exclusively online. Just scan that QR code that you see right there on your screen.
There you go. So there it is, really. There is... I mean, it's not evidence in the sense that there is a physical paper that says, yes, we have this evidence, but there is something to this, and there always has been something to this, you know? And obviously with Michael Herrera coming out yesterday, or the day before yesterday, sorry, at the time of recording, to talk about the insider and this legacy program that he was, this insider that he's been speaking to is a part of, and also the things that he's witnessed. You know, it all correlates, and it's all coming to a head. And I think, if you think of it as a triangle, we're like here. The pinnacle's here, where the government have no choice but to kind of talk about it. We're kind of here. And that gap is just slowly closing, poof. Soon enough, the government's going to have absolutely no choice but to disclose what they've got. Obviously, there's this legislation coming to pass, in which the government and all arms of the government must hand over information by October 31st. Whether they do or not, it's impossible to say. Like, it really is. You know, the government have weaseled their way around this kind of thing before. They can weasel their way around it again. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Tick on my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel. And until next time, I hope that you guys have enjoyed. Can't wait to see you in the next one. And I'll speak to you later. Peace.